Today is going to be a lot about focus for me. I have been spending a lot more time programming than I think I probably should, and I'm about to start something which is going to be interesting, and it's one of them things where you're just going to fall into a rabbit hole and stay in there for a while. So I'm trying to delay that fall as much as I can. In fairness, this week I've spent about 50% of my time not programming, which is good. And this is, when I say time, I mean timed time, which I've started a timer for. And there's a lot of not timed time which would fall out of the world of programming, obviously. Basically all programming time is timed, but not all non-programming time is timed, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, when I start this next bit of work, I know it's going to consume me a little bit. So I'm going to try and get ahead on some non-programming stuff. Focus is going to start becoming a bit of a thing for me, because I need to start thinking about what it is. I've started to consider what it is I should be focusing on, and if it should, and how much time I should spend on it. So I'm not even sure what those two things are, you know what I mean? And while I say 50% of my time isn't programming, some of that time is planning programming. So yeah, no, I'm not sure if that counts. I'm kind of cheating that statistic just a tiny little bit. So yeah, today I'm releasing a blog post that I wrote that is going up on varialis.com. I will link it in the description if I remember. It's about testing triangles. The testing triangle is a relatively standardized view of how you should have your tests. So you build it on a steady base of fast unit tests, and then you slowly get up, and as you go up the triangle your tests get more expensive, and therefore you should have less of them. But a lot of companies don't do that, for very good reasons as well, and the blog post goes into why those reasons are. I have a different approach on the same triangle. I think, well, one of the main reasons people get it wrong is because they deprioritize testing, which is never a good thing. But the other reason is because the testing triangle doesn't really fit with modern development standards, let's say. And I have a different view. I've kind of redesigned it, rejigged it a bit, so that it does fit modern development standards a little bit better. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, go check out my blog, boys and girls. It's my first foray into an actual technical blog, kind of, although there's no code. The next blog I'm writing is going to be basically how to implement that triangle, or how to implement a very specific level of that triangle. That is going to be technical, that is going to have code in, and I am struggling to write that, to be honest with you, so I'm going to spend a bit of time doing that. But yeah, today is going to be, I'm going to publish out that blog. I'm going to work on my investment stuff, and I'm going to look at the business projections and shit like that, and try and get some sales in. It's just going to be a lot of admin and very little programming. The only bit of programming I'm letting myself do is planning, quote unquote, planning the next two chunks. So there's two pieces of work that I know I need to do, which is A, getting containers into registry, and I need to figure out how to do that. As in, I know how to do it, I just need to figure out how I'm going to do it, if that makes sense. And I need to figure out how to access private Nougat repositories as part of my build pipeline. I think I can deprioritize that one. I think I'm going to need it at some point, but I reckon I can deprioritize it for now. But that is as close to programming as I'm going to let myself get. I'm just going to try and make sure I've got the tickets and the user stories created in Asana, so that when I pick it up, because I investigated a lot of this stuff, kind of investigated a lot of this stuff. Is it theoretically possible? Not how do I do it? And then I put it all on a branch, which I then deleted like an idiot. So to rediscover it all. So I'm going to make sure I put everything I need to know in the Asana ticket, so when I do pick it up, probably sometime next week, or at the weekend, I will just know it and just go, right, okay, I know what to do, jump in. Otherwise I need to be very strict, I need to be very focused, and only do admin related stuff today. I'm going to try and stay away from the code. The only time I'll let myself do some code is if I drop so far off the productivity wagon that it's the only way to get myself back on. But that shouldn't happen, Jimmy. This private Nougat package thing, I'm in the process of just planning out the ticket for that. This is one of the things that just proves what kind of a can of worms I'm walking into. Like it's one of those things that like should just be so simple, and it is so simple in all other situations except the situation where I'm in, where and like I don't have like god damn man, it's really complicated. I'm gonna move my car as well a little bit. Like it's one of those things that looks so simple on the outside, but then once you just like chip in at it, it gets complicated really quick. And it's one of the things that proves how difficult Red Spider is going to be to build and maintain and send it wide. Like what I'm trying to do is do something that really big companies do and struggle with as well, to be fair. I'm taking on companies like Microsoft and Atlassian and blah, blah. The difference is I'm not them, so I don't have access to all of their internal stuff. Or I can't assume because I'm in, so Microsoft, for example, assumes that you're going to use their Nougat package restore thing if you're in their world. Because of course, like you are, like 99% of their customers are going to do that. Or they're going to use Nougat. But if they have private repositories, they probably host it in the same place. Because why would you diversify that? Problem is, I then have to integrate in with that, but also have to integrate in with ones stored by Bitbucket or by Atlassian in somewhere or whatever, or GitHub. My get. And they all do it differently. Fucking hell, it's gonna be hard as balls, man. This is one of those things where it just proves how much bigger than me this is, and why I need to build an entire company around it. I mean, we can be agile about it in the sense that I personally don't have to support it yet. All up until the time I do, I just got to make sure that when I do, it's possible to support it without having to just carve out entire sections of the code base in order to support it better. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to get to the point where a client asks me for it and I'm like, fuck, this is a 2-month long rewrite. So, do I have a repository that doesn't require it? That's the question. If I have a repository that doesn't require it, then we can roll from there and use that repository instead of the one that I'm currently doing, because that does require it. But I'm so niche now, I've even taken away my own fucking project. Oh, FML. But yeah, agility is key. I have to move, get working prototype in one way. This, at the end of the day, is a subset of all people. It's a big subset, but it's a subset nonetheless. More importantly is actually spinning up these things in the first place. Not a step as part of spinning them up, you know? Alright, I've decided what I need to do, I just don't know how I'm going to do it. That's a good place to be in. I've done all those tasks, I'm making myself a cup of tea, and I'm going to start working on other things. I've spent too long on this already. It's going to be hard. I'm excited to get into it. It's going to be really hard. It's going to be like, it's a really interesting problem to have to solve, you know? And I'm excited to do it. It's going to be non-trivial, you know? And that's always the stuff that's most exciting. But yeah, I'm like, solving problems that are rare problems to solve. That I also feel like, but they're the kind of problems where once you've done them, you're super proud of it, you know? But before you start it, it's really daunting. Anyway, I'm going to focus on sorting out my blog post. I'm going to get that up. I haven't generated the HTML for it yet, it's all in Markdown still. So I need to get that ready, basically publish it, and then I will publicize it this afternoon, and then I'm going to be doing other business related tasks. Which is fun. It's fun. Everything feels a little bit daunting at the moment. Gonna have to be honest with y'all. My ability to focus is not working out for me so far. I have managed to do my blog. That's now all published out, and I've gone through the trials and tribulations of getting it like shared across LinkedIn and Twitter and all that kind of stuff. So that is now all done, and I just can't bring myself to do this. I just keep opening it up and just staring at it, and writing a paragraph, a sentence even, and then getting rid of that sentence and writing a sentence again and then rewriting it. And it's so irritating. I just find it so difficult. I thought what I'd do is I'll come downstairs, I'm gonna sit here, I've got pyjama bottoms on to get myself nice and comfy, and I'll sit here and I've got like a glass of water, headphones on, I'm playing lo-fi chill beats, and I'm just gonna like zone out and do it. And I can't. I just don't know how to, basically. I just like don't know what to write. And then I get annoyed at myself, then I make it even worse. So I've just written down on like a little to-do list, a little list, like the things that I can do that actually add value in some way, shape or form. I keep getting cramp with my left foot as well. Things I can do that like add value, that's productive, but also like pretty chill. You know, like replying to questions on Stack Overflow and things like that. Things that I can do in the evening to stay productive throughout the night, and things like that. And it's just like, that in itself is procrastination against writing this goddamn, it's one of the things where like, I felt like I did a really good job of doing this when I got out of the house. So that day last week where I went into town and sat in my office for a couple of hours, I managed to write more of my blog then, and I keep getting goddamn cramp. I managed to write more of my blog then than I had when I was sat at home. And I feel like this is another one of those things where I just struggle to do, unless I go somewhere else and sit down and be like I need to take myself out of the places that I'm used to being, which is why I'm in there, in order to do it. And even being in there is not working for me. So I took the afternoon effectively off yesterday. I went out for my little walk and then I kind of sat outside with my notepad and just kind of doodled, get my little mind in order, you know. And I spoke to Laura in the evening to like spitball ideas to someone who can actually answer me back. And I feel like I've basically come to the most alarming thing is that I was thinking that kind of stuff after 2 weeks, and that's the like alarming thing. I'm used to going at the pace of part-time after work, but I'm not anymore. I'm going at full-time running, so like these 2 weeks feel like a month and a bit, you know. So it's like life goes quicker for me. Also because I'm like talking to myself, so like my mind runs at its speed, and then kind of answers itself, and I'm like almost defaulting to thinking about 8 months time rather than like next month, which is like not the way you should do things. So it's like a mindset thing that I need to reset a little bit. I need to be more willing to talk to people about stuff, basically, not just Laura as well, other people too, in order to figure out what it is that I want to do and why and whatnot, and just kind of like get second opinions, to be honest. That's kind of why I'm really interested in continuing to do this, because if you guys have any kind of opinions, then it will help me out as well. But yeah, like the biggest thing is, so this funding that I'm effectively applying for changed the cadence that I was planning on running at quite significantly, and it started to freak me out a little bit, because my initial plan is build a revenue stream that's big enough to be able to hire more people. So effectively build a revenue stream, continue to like pay myself bare minimum to survive, which is what I'm doing now anyway, because I'm not paying myself anything, and then hire more people. But as I was thinking about, oh, if I got a cash injection of X, how would I go about finding a team of people with that cash injection? And the answer is I wouldn't be able to. It's really fucking hard. All of the people I know are all older than me, and kind of basically as a byproduct of that, less willing to take the risks that I'm running, like on stability or taking a pay cut and all that kind of stuff. So I was kind of panicking about basically using the I don't know how to hire a team of people to panic and put myself off of applying for funding. And Laura's like, if you believe in it and like still apply for the money, because A, it's good experience at the very least, B, you can never say no to money. So it's kind of like, that's where I'm at. So I guess my question to you guys, if you're still watching at this point, is what would it take for you to join a startup? Like, what is it you'd be looking for? Because I kind of know, so here's the weird thing, right? I know why it is I'm doing it, and I know what appeals to me about it, but those things effectively make me not want to work for someone else's startup, you know? It's like kind of weird. Like, I like the idea of being able to solve new and different problems and basically being able to pick the problems that I want to solve. And I like the idea of crafting a team around me and all this kind of stuff. But then also there's a part of me that's like, yeah, I want to be my own boss. I feel like I can do that kind of thing. Sounds so big, aren't they? Oh my god. God damn. They're worth a fucking fortune. But that doesn't mean that someone else would, like, I feel like I could appeal to a developer that's like me, that might just maybe not have their own idea. I feel like I can appeal to them because I know what I want, and basically I want to hire more people like me. There is like half of it is I want to run my own business, that's why I want to do a startup, so why would I join someone else's startup? But like, I don't know how to appeal to like just the normal person, so I messaged a couple of people yesterday being like, what is it that would it take to drag you over? And the problem is they're at points in their lives where they can't take as much risk as I can, and they can't, and they're less willing to take cuts on salary. Like, of course you would. Why would you want to take a cut on a salary for something that might not work? And I could offer equity, but then what's 50% of zero, you know? Fuck all. So yeah, so I've been kind of panicking about the idea of building a team, and how difficult that would be, and then kind of using that to shine a negative light on everything else, you know. So but that's where I was at yesterday. Solved it now. I'm walking about now, building up my plan of attack for today. We're going out this evening to a outdoor cinema, and we're going to go out for a burger as well before, which we're super excited about. And yeah, that's about that. So it's going to be a good day. We're going to be productive today. We're just going to get stuff done. I am still going to do this application. I'm just going to approach it differently to how I was approaching it, because I was approaching it trying to shift what I was doing to be as applicable as possible. And instead I'm just going to go, here's what I'm doing. Basically, give me feedback. And if it's good enough, then it's good enough, you know? So yeah, it was a good chat with Laura last night. Right, it's about lunchtime, ladies and gentlemen. I spent my morning, well, a bit of the morning listening to, one of the things I struggle with is what to listen to and do while I'm on my own. At work, I'd listen to music and then obviously talk to people. I feel like podcasts should fill in that gap for wanting to not get like getting bored of listening to music, but I find it really difficult to concentrate while listening to podcasts. But Formula One's back on this weekend, boys, so I put on FP1, Free Practice 1, which is like the most boring TV ever. So I put on that in the background so I can have a listen to it, and I'm going to do the same thing with Free Practice 2 later. Living the dream. Otherwise, I've been doing programming. I've been trying to figure out how to, trying to get it working, trying to get my microservice authenticated with a container repository, a Git Azure container repository. I'm trying to get that up and running. It's not quite working out for me at the moment. I'm trying to figure out why. It's kind of a weird thing to do though. And I think I'm using like the thing that you use to communicate with Docker itself, and trying to map that to this Azure one, and I'm not necessarily sure they're the same thing. There's a demo of it on GitHub, but it's the most convoluted demo I've ever seen in my life, where it spins up Docker locally if it doesn't have it. So it's like really difficult to follow. But I feel like it should work, because I have the service principal. I've set up an account for the service. I've made sure that account has access to the registry. I thought there was a baby crying. It's a strimmer. But it just won't bite. It just won't bite. And the annoying thing is about authentication is it's just a bitch. It doesn't tell you why. It's just like, oh yeah, HTTP exception. Oh, shit. Why? um, so yeah, I'm trying to figure out what's going on with that. That is my life, ATM. But I'm gonna have some lunch. I'm gonna step away from it for a little bit, have some lunch. I am really, really struggling. Is that a nice green van? My God. I haven't seen a nice green van driving around places in so long. Yeah, I'm really struggling for how to do what I'm trying to do without dropping to PowerShell. And the problem is I'm in the middle of a C# microservice. So if I'm gonna get to PowerShell, I need to run the PowerShell on the service itself. Like, ideally, at that point, if I'm gonna use PowerShell, I'm gonna wanna put it in a function, in an Azure function. That kind of like complicates how I'm going to get this data around effectively. I'm gonna have to put it in blob storage. I'm gonna have to put a Docker file in blob storage and build it from there, I think. But yeah, it's hard, it's confusing because I just can't get these things to work. And I've tried it via the default .NET Docker client thing. And what's frustrating is PowerShell is C# really, and like underneath. Like it all runs on the same framework. So like if you can do it in PowerShell core, which you can, like there should be a Nougat package for it. So I should be able to do it from C#, but it just doesn't exist. Because what kind of lunatic will be doing what I'm doing in a scenario that isn't just DevOps style scenarios where you're using PowerShell, not writing entire microservices. Mate, I should have brought my skateboard. This place is never empty. Well, to be fair, there's a dude there, but yeah, like the problem is like, how do I get what I want out? I think because I'm gonna have functions at some point anyway, PowerShell functions anyway, that were going to be spinning up instances and stuff. So I was prepared to do that. I think I just got sideswiped by this thing. I should just have been putting the file in blob storage and just calling it a day. Because then from there I can have direct access while I'm in Azure, so I can just dump it straight into wherever I need to do it, because it can all be container refed. Fucking, you know what I mean? Azure AD'd up so that only certain things can do whatever. I think I've decided what I'm going to do. But yeah, I've tried so hard today. I've done about 5.5 hours of just reading stuff, reading it, trying to figure it out. Okay, right, that doesn't work. How does this thing work? Dive into how it works, look through the stuff on GitHub, being like, right, okay, well that doesn't seem to be possible then. In theory, it's possible via the REST API, in theory, but then I have to hack my own client for it, because there isn't a client there, and then I have to manually do like staggered uploads and stuff, which is not going to be fun and very like fragile, I should imagine, since it'll be me writing it and not someone who's good at that kind of thing. This cloud looks ominous. We're going to a outdoor cinema later. Hopefully that cloud fucks off or doesn't drop anything, you know what I'm saying? Alright, so that's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna smash it to fucking blob storage and live the dream, boys. The thing I don't like about meeting Laura places, so like she's going straight from work, we're gonna go get some food and then we're gonna go to the cinema thing. The problem with that is usually she's responsible for like tickets and stuff like that. I normally organise the whole thing, organise the event, but then the things that we need to take are Laura's domain, you know what I'm saying? But because she's been to work, there are things that she normally take that she's not taken, and I'm like, have I got everything that I need? How sure am I that I've got everything? So I've got phone, keys, camera, wallet, I've got water bottle, drinks, lemonade and a ginger beer, lovely ginger beer. I've got Laura's blanket and I've got the tickets. Is there anything else? I'm not going to lie to you, today was not productive, but yesterday we had a great deal. We had a great time at this outdoor cinema thing. You got like a little beanbag thing, you sat on your beanbag, you watched, we watched Bohemian Rhapsody, which was really good, really enjoyed that. I think it was like one of the better kind of films to watch outside, if you know what I mean, because it's kind of like being at a concert, vaguely. But it was really good. I'd generally do that again. It wasn't really that expensive either when you factor it all in, it came to like 20-ish pounds each. But you get popcorn, chocolate, a drink, a nice comfy seat to sit outside and watch it at the zoo. It was wicked. But otherwise today, it hasn't been, I've done a bit of admin related stuff, but nothing crazy productive. I did a lot of gardening, killed a load of weeds, so I'm clearing that path around the back of the house so that we can get further out. You can actually walk now from our house to next door. It's going well. I'm just clearing my way down. I'm gonna get there. We've also bought a small, like a little mini incinerator thing to try and burn away some of the stuff. Burnt away a good amount today. It's a lot harder to get that thing burning than I thought it would be though, because it's almost like a log burner, but like it's almost too small. Like you get it going and then it burns all of its fuel before and then you got to keep putting stuff in. But obviously everything you put in is like wet because it's a live plant, or was live not long ago. So I went through and cut as much of it down as I could so that it would like dry up. But it's going really well. You'd be shocked at how clear it is compared to how it was. Or if you looked at it now, you wouldn't think it was as bad as it was. Because it's gone from me having to stand on the wall and like clipping the top of it to you being able to just walk down it. And it's all, you just got to play a game where you spot the bits where it's sticking out the ground and then you get it and you're like, bang, gotcha, bang, gotcha. It's great. I thoroughly enjoy it. Otherwise, that's about all. We started playing a game called Heave Ho on the Switch, which is really good. It's frustrating as balls, but it's really good. It's also really difficult because we're playing with the Joy-Cons the sideways. They're really tiny and your little hands cramp up. Or my big hands cramp up. Cool. I'm going to go, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for watching this video. It's a long one. Should I hold on for tomorrow? Because the chances are we're not going to vlog much tomorrow, are we? Yeah, fuck it, boys. We're this far in now. Here we go. Like, this is a sign of how obsessed I am with this now. How addicted I am. This is a path that cuts. That's our road there. Our house is like along here a little bit. As you can see, there's a gate there. You can cut through here if you've got the key. But you can't get to the back of our house because you've got to go through all of this. There's a significant amount of like what looks like already cut wood here. It looks like someone's like just put garden waste there. But I'm working my way this way through all of this shit. And I thought I'd come at this side and see how, if it was possible to basically attack it from both ends, but all this in the way, unfortunately. Yes, I don't know if you could tell, but all of this is just kind of thrown on now, although there may be a bush growing in it. And the rest of it, all of this stuff, was growing up here until your boy here killed it at the root. Well, just cut it off halfway through. The idea is, hopefully, all of this will die enough for me to just fucking burn it. But you just got to kill it right at the base. And that is really addictive, that's the problem. Where's that bit? Yeah, a bit cut further up. Let me cut that lower. Here we go. So there was a time that the only way you could cut back any of this was by walking on this wall. But now, you can walk all the way along here. I've pushed everything, basically killed it all and put it to the left. You can walk all the way along here. And then if you look down here, a lot of these big ones look already snipped as far as I can reach. It's really addictive because you just want to reach as far. I'm just seeing that one. That's reachable. That's already been cut. You just want to reach as far as you can, and the next one is like there. But I kind of need to wait for half of this to die. And again, all of this needs to slowly die so that it will burn. It's less important to go that way, but I'm trying anyway. Making good progress, lad. I've got little bits of dry bits to start my fire, and then I'm gonna burn it all. And we're calling it a day there, ladies and gentlemen. Relatively chilled out day again today, apart from my session, obviously, in the garden. We did a bit of, watched lots of TV today, to be honest, which isn't good. But Formula 1, Dragon's Den, Peaky Blinders, living the dream. Turns out burning all that garden waste isn't a great idea. So we bought like a incinerator thing, which is like a metal wheelie bin, really, which you create a little fire in the bottom of it, and then you put garden waste on it. So I got all the dried dead sticks. I'm like, there we go, we're gonna get this sorted. I tried this yesterday, couldn't really get it burning very well because I was a dickhead and didn't put all the dry stuff in first. got it going, but then a neighbour complained about the smoke. God damn it. I say a neighbour, it's like nowhere near us really, but anyway, it was where the wind was going, so fair play. So we're going to figure out a different way to get rid of all that garden waste, which is going to be fun, which is probably the reason why no one else has tried to clear it that path, but that's life. Right, I'm going to head off to bed. Thanks for watching this video, ladies and gentlemen. I realise it's been a long one, I apologise. Back to work tomorrow. Just be productive. We need to just properly start swinging now. Yeah, thanks for watching.